If the world were like a Sleep Number mattress, everything would adapt for your comfort. Because as your life changes and your body changes, Sleep Number mattresses adapt and shift to give you personalized comfort night after night. And now everything's on sale during our Memorial Day event. Save up to $1,200 on mattresses for a limited time. To experience a whole new world of comfort, visit a Sleep Number store or go to sleepnumber.com. Sleep Number, to a good life sleep.
Shop the Sherwin-Williams Memorial Day sale and get 30% off paints and stains May 15th through the 28th. Whether you're refreshing your interior or exterior, we've got the colors to bring your vision to life. And with delivery, getting everything to your door is easier than ever. Shop online to have it delivered or visit your neighborhood Sherwin-Williams store. Click the banner to learn more. Retail sales only. Some exclusions apply. See store for details. Delivery available on qualifying orders.
We're all locked in now.
Your home for the best sports radio in Utah is right here on the KSL Sports Zone. It's time to kick off your afternoon drive with Jake Scott and Ben Anderson.
Allow me to introduce the best of the best.
On 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.
Jake and Ben, 97.5. The KSL Sports Zone. Jake Scott, Ben Anderson. I do love this song. What's going on over there, Ben?
Doing well. How are you?
Just living the dream. We were talking about how glad I am that I'm not on television, and then I look up and
there you are.
There's the camera, right there, staring me right in the face. I wore my shirt with my daughter's picture on it today.
Yeah.
Because she wore her shirt with my picture on it, and she had to do a project, like a video project for school, and upload it. And I was pretty stoked. I was like, you picked that shirt to do your project?
You made the cut.
That's amazing. So I decided to wear it in kind today. I was pretty stoked about that.
Nice of you.
You know, you don't know if you're doing a just disastrous job as a father, and then, you know, your daughter does one superficial thing like wear a T-shirt with your picture on it, and you're riding pretty high.
You're a father. I'm a father. Christian's a father. My kids are older than yours. Your kids are older than Christian's. At what point do you know if you've done a good job?
I bet you don't.
You just never know?
Well, it depends on what bar. I guess you'd have to have a bar and a time frame. Like if they're not in prison by 18, like you're doing okay.
Is it case to case? Or is there a Mendoza line?
See, you know what? That's what I try to tell this to my brother-in-law. I take zero credit. Like people tell me that I have good kids. I really do. And people tell me that all the time. And it's like, it has nothing to do with me. I assure you. I don't know what it is, and they are so different from one another. Like, how would you ever know if you're doing a good job?
Sure.
The world's most perfect parent could easily raise a serial killer.
Yeah, right. Yeah. John Wayne Gacy's parents, probably great people.
And I have some dear friends who have become parents that are very unreliable people, and their kids seem to be amazing.
Yeah.
And by the way, to those friends, unreliable is a little extreme.
But love your kids.
But your kids are amazing. So, yeah, I don't know. I don't take any credit for it. I'm just along for the ride. I honestly just don't want to screw it up. That's
how I feel, too.
That's the entire bar for me.
Replacement level.
Yeah.
And then you make what you can of yourself.
Joe Ingles.
Sure. Great career.
Great career.
Yeah.
Really, really did better than a lot of people think. And I do think there were a lot of people that thought I would be just a dreadful parent. So the bar is low for me.
Okay. Did people tell you that?
No, but I think most people that know me consider me a pretty unreliable person.
Okay.
So there was that.
I think you're incredibly consistent.
Consistently, well...
I didn't, say what you were consistent in. I just think you're consistent.
Yeah.
I know what to expect.
I had to go down to IT and have them try and handhold me through something that should be really simple, and even they couldn't do that.
That's fine.
You're hopeless, is what they're saying.
That's not going to disqualify you as a parent.
Oh, yeah, well, I hope not. I'm trying it.
Yeah.
I'm doing my best. Can't get logged into a dang company website. Should be the simplest thing in the world.
Yeah.
All right, Ben. Thriller of a game last night.
One of the better games I've seen in a very long time.
I was watching it with my beloved wife, and she's not a sport. Like, she doesn't dislike sports, but she's not into it,
Yeah.
And so she's talking to me about other very important things while I'm trying to watch the most thrilling double overtime game ever. Like, I had to I reacted when Wemby hit the three. I'm just like,
Yeah.
And she's like, what? I'm like, I can't even believe you're not paying attention to this.
We put off reading. We try to read every night to the kids. And I was like, it went to double overtime. I don't know what to tell you, kids. Atticus Finch will wait.
Sorry, guys. Ben Anderson is busy.
We'll pick him up tomorrow. We'll figure out what's going on with the gang tomorrow. But and the kids don't want to read, so it was kind of
They were into it.
They were into it. They were cool with it. But yeah, sorry, it was going until 9:45. You guys can stay up. I'm not reading to you till 10:30. So,
Got to see the end of this thing.
Got to see what happened.
Got to see the end of this
and
thing.
that's how you end up with bad kids.
I did tell my wife, though. I said I would be so grumpy if I were on the broadcast.
Yeah, that's not for you.
That's not for me. I don't like overtime. But for me on my couch, now I know how everybody feels about it. Nobody can identify with me complaining about overtime. I get it. Because when you're just sitting on your couch, bring on another overtime, sure.
You're right. More basketball, free basketball. But you're like, got to get out of here.
We got an hour worth of show to do after this thing.
Yeah.
And then I got to wake up and go in and see Lloyd. I mean, there's nothing positive about any of that.
But you made it. And you did get to watch the game last night, and you didn't have to do any post-game, which was very nice. And it was, it was
a thriller.
A fabulous game. This is what everybody was hoping for mid-season, seeing these two teams play the way they did, hoping that if they match up, we'd get another great series and it wouldn't be lopsided. And look, it may end up being lopsided. We don't know. But game one was about as good as you can ask for when it comes to the NBA.
It was. Let me put it this way. In typical me fashion, I'm going to take the shine a little bit off of Victor Wembanyama. So if you want to start by talking about his good aspects, I'm willing to wait. Which he was great, by the way. He was great. He's a great player. My daughter, when she was watching with me, said, "I'm cheering for the French guy."
Yeah,
because she's in French dual immersion.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
Like, yeah. I, like everybody, was just amazed by what Wemby was doing. I'm happy to dive more into the nuance of the great and where I still have questions, obviously. But what he did last night, his first ever conference finals game, what was it, 41-23?
Yeah, pretty amazing.
Played 48 minutes, was clearly the best player on the floor last night. You know, I will personally say I'm not quite ready to crown him as the greatest player in the NBA or the mountain that nobody will overcome for the next 3 to 5 years. I don't think that's what the NBA is, but I'm not going to pretend that I didn't watch greatness last night. That was greatness. That's what the NBA, great players becoming superstars. That's exactly what it looks like.
Yeah. We need to find the Dennis Green. You want to crown him?
Yeah.
The crown, because that's what I always think of when somebody says crown. Let's crown Victor the best player in the NBA. Yeah. I don't know. We should play his post-game sound and his back and forth. Because I kind of found it a little bit funny, but he definitely was motivated. I mean, we honestly don't know a whole lot about him and I've heard some behind the scenes stuff, but he's obviously somebody that puts a chip on his shoulder. There's no doubt about it.
Yep.
You talked about his rivalry with Chet, who all but disappeared.
A rivalry no longer.
Who all but disappeared in that particular game. So, you know, in fact, we can start with the sound if you want, and then I can go on to make my point.
Let's hear it.
Let's. So this is Victor. A couple of back and forth. Have you heard this yet?
I don't think so.
Okay, I want your thoughts on the question.
Okay.
All right, let's play this.
Mitch was saying that it's a pretty natural response for a competitor to see another competitor get something that he wants, you know, whether it's the MVP trophy or whatever it might be. I'm just curious if that was in your mind at all, knowing that Shea had got that award and you were in the top 3 for it, and, you know, did any part of tonight feel personal? Some of your facial expressions kind of look like you were really, really going for it.
Yeah, for sure. Everything you just said.
What does it feel like to see someone else get the MVP trophy right before you step into, I guess, what is basically the biggest game of your career, and then to have the best performance of your career?
Feels like I still got a lot to learn. And I want to get that trophy, you know, many times in my career.
We talked a lot about winning an MVP and what goes behind it, whether it's political things of that nature. Do you feel like, especially after this game, that you're the best player in basketball?
Do I feel like it right now? I feel tired. But it's not a question I'm wondering right now. We'll see, the world is 8 billion people, so it's 8 billion opinions.
Okay.
Well, thoughts on what he said, and then I want to hear your thoughts on the questioning.
I like Victor. I like Wemby. I like that he's not afraid to say, I want to win the trophy, and I want to win a lot of times. I like that. I don't mind. I don't mind Timothy Chalamet, though he didn't attack it correctly, I didn't think.
The ping pong guy?
The ping pong guy. Saying, I want to be a great actor. I want to be Al Pacino, Robert De Niro, Leonardo DiCaprio. I want to be in that conversation. I actually don't have a problem with people saying, like, here's my goal. I'm going to talk about it. Not to Ben Simmons it into a reality, not to trick you into thinking I deserve it, but I actually for myself want to achieve it, and I don't mind putting myself on the line by saying it out loud. So I like that about Victor Wembanyama.
Like that?
Sometimes you can't avoid it. I enjoy that.
What about the reporter?
It is a little bit of the, there was a former, Bill Oram once pointed this out about another person in the market, and he said, the problem with that guy's questions, or girl, is that every question is, do you think you're the best basketball player or the greatest of all time? It's a little bit of that line of questioning.
Mm-hmm.
Is this a great team or the single greatest thing that's ever happened in human history?
Uh-huh.
A lot of those questions are, clearly you're the best player in the league.
Uh-huh.
Do you see that, or is it just me? Like, there's a little bit of that line of questioning that I think you could read into what was happening there.
I do agree. And the first question, okay, so this is funny. I like to self-examine this stuff because I ask a lot of bad questions too. So I'm not trying to clown anybody too badly. And I hated when Greg Popovich clowned everybody for asking dumb questions. I felt like that was silly and kind of mean. So, but the question is, were you motivated by seeing Shea get the MVP tonight? That's the question.
Yeah. Period.
That's the question. Both reporters, actually all three reporters were trying to ask, which is kind of silly because as a basketball player living in the moment, I don't know how much you think about that sort of stuff. Maybe a little, maybe a lot. But that was the question. That's it. Were you motivated?
Correct.
By seeing Shea get the MVP tonight? But the first guy goes, and I just love you and love you and love you and let me answer the question for you and then let me love you and then answer some more and then love and love and love.
Yeah.
And he's like, yeah.
Everything you said.
All that lovely stuff. That's it. And then the second guy actually was on track. He was actually kind of there. And then it was like, but love you, love you, love you. Which I thought was really funny. But yeah, that's kind of that feeling.
There is a weird thing, and like you talked about, there is a weird thing about being a reporter or asking a guy a question after they've just done something phenomenal, unique, out of this world, whatever it is, and trying to just trying to not match that equivalent of what they're doing, but that is the job. Oh, you scored 50 in a game. What did that feel like? Not, wow. Well, you were really looking great out there. How'd you do it? You got to try to avoid being that reporter.
But the projection is funny too,
Absolutely.
Like we do, and I'm saying we do try to create these extra storylines because we do love the soap opera. I've said it a million times. It's the world's best ongoing storyline. It never ends.
Yes.
And we love the narratives. Of course, we want to believe in our heart of hearts that Victor Wembanyama, thank you, Scotty and Coach, was so mad at Shea. He was so mad he was going to go deliver this historic performance. And, maybe it was. Maybe it wasn't. But we all want that, right?
Yes.
We all want that to be true. We love that. And we want a juicy. And there is something funny. And I wonder if he's trolling in a way. There is something funny about this reporter saying, I want you to talk about this thing that I love so much.
Yeah.
And he's like, yeah. Whatever you said. I find that funny. So maybe he has a good sense of humor.
Yeah, he's enjoyable right now. I'm not going to hold him to being enjoyable for the rest of his life, but he's enjoyable right now.
Okay, I do have a few thoughts on the game.
Okay.
Specifically with him, but we can get to some other stuff too. Well, let me start here. What was so annoying about watching Shaq is that he was very not skilled. He just ran over everybody in the league and dunked because he was huge and athletic, and the referees let him do it. Because it is a foul to run over your defender a dunk. It is. It's a foul. And Wemby gets the same whistle. He gets away with murder out there with the basketball. Absolutely. Now, I hated the way Oklahoma City guarded him. I really did. I don't think, Ben, when the Jazz tried that same defense against Denver and it kind of worked for a night, you were quick the next day to they haven't figured out Denver. This is this little fluky, put a small on him.
Elijah Harkless on Jokic and it might work.
And then help with your longer player when help needs to come. And that's what they tried to do on Wemby with Chet. They had Caruso, for crying in the gravy, trying to guard him. And I like Jalen, brother of Cody Williams, a little bit better, but he's still way outsized.
He's 6'6".
And
he's legitimately might be 11 inches shorter.
And Victor is shouldering him into the hot dog stand halfway up the dang concourse, and they let him get away with it. And then the help from Chet is just too slow. And, I'm not even blaming Chet on that, Ben, because Victor's so long, he just dunks. He just finishes. I mean, the help does not have time to get there after Caruso is peeling himself up off the ground.
Right.
So I was trying to decide if it was quite on the level of backpack defense, like a pretty extreme defensive game plan to solve a really complicated player that just failed miserably. Miserably. Are they going to try that again? Do you agree? I thought the game plan for Victor was terrible.
I understand the approach. I think that's what you try and do with a flawed player. And I think they were trying to test, like the Velociraptors in Jurassic Park 1, trying to figure out where the weakness in the fence was. And they recognized there just might not be a weakness there. Can we get away with, Caruso or J-Dub on Wemby and then bring Chet over or bring Hartenstein over, whatever it is. And Wemby, I think, very clearly decided, no, you cannot do that. So I think they will adjust their approach there. And I thought that is what they were trying to accomplish in Game 1. And if it worked, great. It's a wrinkle to throw out at him.
It did not.
It did not work in the slightest.
No.
So
I thought you... Okay, so similar player in LeBron who likes to run people over, and you don't really have a whole lot of answers for it is what LeBron does. Gap the daylights out of LeBron was always the answer. And people say, well, yeah, he's going to pull up. He shoots 35%. It's like, yeah, but he shoots 100% from 0 feet.
Yeah, right.
So get off him, dare him to shoot that three. That always seemed like the best way to go with LeBron. And you can tell me that LeBron's still going to win a lot of games if you do that. Absolutely true. But you pointed out that with Wemby, as actually it works with Jokic too, but with Wemby, you got to lean on him the whole game. Yeah. Get the biggest, heaviest player you got, stick him out there, and make Wemby prop him up for the entire game. Yeah. I don't know why Hartenstein only played 12 minutes. That made no sense. And even of those 12 minutes, they didn't even have him guard him. You know how much energy it takes? Oh, it was funny. I was talking about my buddy Igor today to my physical therapist because he was on alone. And she looked up why Igor, his adventure there. And apparently Igor wasted all of his energy building like a log cabin or something and ended up not winning, or whatever. Like Wemby is dominating in double overtime. He's ready to go because how much energy does it take to run over Alex Caruso?
Right.
None.
Yeah.
None whatsoever. Right. And then he just stands there hovering in the lane on defense, spending no energy there either. And then he's beating you in double overtime while you're gassed. Well, no kidding. Well, why don't you stick the giant heavy guy out there and make Wemby work for it a little bit? I didn't understand that in the slightest.
You're right. I think Mark Daigneault tried to beat Wemby's brain. They tried to make him make decisions by saying, I caught the ball, I've got a smaller guy on me, but the help is coming, so where do I pass? Like, they tried to make him go through the process of, as a playmaker, of what to do with the ball in my hands, and hoping that he would foul up there. You admit not foul like basketball foul, like make a mistake. And he didn't. And I do think right now with Wemby, because I think he is quickly learning the game. I said yesterday, the problem with Wemby is he's going to get better every single time he plays, because he has the computer mind where once he solves the problem, he's gonna put it in his back pocket and he's gonna remember how to do it next time. That is LeBron's greatest. I mean, in addition to his superb body, one of LeBron's greatest strengths is he's seen every defense. He really does know the counter to all of it. Doesn't mean it works every time, but he knows the best outcome. Wemby is getting there quickly as well, and once that happens, you can't try to trick him any longer. You do just have to say, physically, we're gonna beat you up, and that's our best bet. And it's going to be hard on you. And by the end of the game, you will have fallen down 15 times. You'll have been fouled 10 times. And I hope you can't lift your forearms above your waist. That's going to be the goal for him eventually. And what I actually think is about to happen, and ironically, the Jazz were already very well set up to deal with this. Wemby is going to create a new economy of big men in the NBA, the same way Shaq did. There were so many lousy 7-foot, 280-pound players in the NBA when Shaq was in the league because you simply needed big bodies to lean on him. And Wemby's going to force the same thing. You're just going to have Jusuf Nurkic, not calling Jusuf Nurkic a lousy 7-foot, 280-pound guy.
But kind of.
But he is a 7-foot, 280-pound guy who's going to go out there and lean on you. And you have Jaren Jackson Jr., and he's going to lean on you. And Walker Kessler's going to go out there and lean on you. And then occasionally, maybe you throw a Lowry Markkanen on him and bring help just to mix up some looks. But it's going to be about having huge size. I do not think you're going to be able to get away with Caruso, Lou Dort, anyone small.
None of those guys. No, not even, like we said, Jalen Brother or Cody. Not even him.
You're going to have to go out and put Chet on him or Hartenstein on him and hope that they can just make his life hard physically, because I don't think you're going to trick him into making mistakes.
I don't think he can be Chet either. But, Hartenstein can't go or Hartenstein is how you pronounce that one.
Yeah.
I don't know if he can go the distance, but he needs to spend more than 12 minutes out there. That defense isn't going to work in this 7-game series. I think there's a reason Wemby went nuts. My second complaint about such a great game, I hated that 3 he made so much.
The Wemby 3?
I hated it so much. Listen, if you are Dame Lillard, Steph Curry, why do you shoot from 30 feet? What's the point?
Because you can't score at the rim.
No.
Too little.
No, well, yes, too little in a sense, but it's space, right?
Yeah.
You pull up from 30 feet because your guy doesn't think you're going to pull up from out there, and he's not up in your face all the time. It's either that or run off 9 picks. You know what I mean? So they pull up from 30 feet, and that's really the entire point. Otherwise, you'd take an easier shot.
Mm-hmm.
Victor Wembanyama, 6 feet behind the line.
He's 8 feet tall.
Uh-huh.
He can shoot over anybody on the floor, probably anybody on the planet.
Yep.
Get yourself an easier shot, bro. It's somewhere Rick Majerus is rolling over in his grave. Like you're just pulling up from there just cuz?
He certainly could have dribbled up
just
3 or 4 more steps.
Way more.
But he did hit it.
What's he doing?
What am I supposed to complain about? He did hit it.
He hit it, but it doesn't mean I have to like the shot.
No, that's fine.
So annoyed by that
you
shot.
Sound like Paul
6
George.
feet behind the line.
Complaining about Damian Lillard hitting the series-ending shot over him and being like, "It's a bad shot." It's like, it went in. What do you care if it's a bad shot if it goes in? But I'm with you.
I
Yes.
always hated that argument. Carmelo Anthony, I remember the first time we really had this argument. The Carmelo Anthony was playing the Jazz in the playoffs, and he was just taking these ludicrous shots, and some of them were going in. It's like, just because you make more ludicrous shots than your average person doesn't make them any less ludicrous.
Yeah, doesn't make them good shots.
Doesn't make them good
And
shots.
the Thunder, and this leads into another point, which we can touch on quickly, will take that shot from Wemby 1,000 times
Absolutely.
out of 1,000. Please let him shoot that. Yes, he can make it sometimes. He makes the dunk every time. So go ahead and shoot that 3. And I know they were down 3. He had to take a shot, or somebody had to take 3.
No, but your point still
took and hit
stands.
it.
Rather have him shooting that than dunking in your face 100%.
I do not think that the Thunder played a particularly good game last night.
Oh, they were bad, in fact, at times.
For all the reasons we just listed. I didn't think their game plan worked particularly well. That doesn't mean Daigneault didn't run great sets and get guys open and create shots for Shea late in the game. He did. And all those things worked and extended it to double overtime. But I didn't think they played particularly well. It's one of the worst games I've ever seen Shea play. As we mentioned, Chet Holmgren was completely invisible. Just an awful, awful player in this game. Some of the shooters for the Thunder that have traditionally been very reliable did not play particularly well in this game either. And it still went to double overtime and took a 35-foot three from Wemby in the first overtime to send it to double overtime. Yeah. Or maybe it was regulation to send it overtime, whatever it was.
I think it was the first overtime.
If I'm the Thunder, I actually don't feel that bad about what just happened. Am I afraid of Wemby? Of course I am. We don't have somebody who can do that, and I don't know how we stop that. But I think our guys can play better than we did, and we didn't play well, and we still got the double OT. So I think this is a long series. I think the Thunder are going to win games in San Antonio. Clearly, the San Antonio can win games against OKC, and you adjust from there. But I think we're in for a great series, and last night was a good taste of it.
Well, Mark Dagnall did a good job figuring out what they were doing against Shea. And by the way, if you want a terrific breakdown of that, Coach Lacombe really gave a good one on Hansen, on Scotty and the coach. Yeah. And I'm talking about Coach Lacombe. Uh-huh. It was really great talking about the bracket coverage and what they were doing and what they were giving up. And they are game planning to stop Shea particularly, but also as a byproduct, Chet making everybody else beat them. Thus, Alex Caruso gets all those open threes. And they did get that figured out in the second half and down the stretch. And monster comeback in the fourth quarter and all of that. He deserves credit. But I thought his defensive game plan is not going to work.
That one will not.
I will be curious to see where he adjusts because I do think he is a pretty good coach. So I wonder what we're going to get out of OKC. I think they're going to continue to try and take Shea out of it. I mean, isn't that what you do?
No question.
And Wemby's effect on defense, I mean, the other reason to have somebody out there that's heavy that leans on him is his defense where he can just play safety is what are you going to do? Mm-hmm. You know, you're either going to take every shot it's going to be a three. I mean, they could not. They'd miss layups at the rim, and we saw this with Rudy for years because they're seeing ghosts, even when he didn't.
Oh yeah,
alter the shot. You know, it's
not dunking when they should dunk. Trying to put a high arc on a shot that has no business being anything other than a layup. And then a couple of times when they did challenge him, he got the block. But yeah, they were absolutely scared. They were playing scared of Wemby, which I get. It's why I think shot blocking numbers actually matter a little bit more than some people think. I get that they're not all equal. We're not that smart of species. You get your shot blocked twice. You're not going to go back in there and try and challenge a guy.
And he only had 3 total, but
he scared people.
Yeah.
He really scared people. So, no, I'm totally with you.
So you got to figure out a way to they need to change it up a little bit. I do agree with your take though that Oklahoma City did not play its best, not by a mile, and barely lost.
Yeah. This is going to be a great series. I picked the Thunder to win this series. Probably still leaning that way, but Wemby's very special. He's one of the best prospects, maybe the best prospect we've seen in our lifetime. Certainly up there with LeBron, and he's paying it off.
Stay tuned. More Jake and Ben coming up next. 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.
I sold my car in Carvana last night.
Well, that's cool.
No, you don't understand. It went perfectly. Real offer, down to the penny. They're picking it up tomorrow. Nothing went wrong.
So, what's the problem?
That is the problem. Nothing in my life goes as smoothly. I'm waiting for the catch.
Maybe there's no catch.
That's exactly what a catch would want me to think.
Wow, you need to relax.
I need to knock on wood. Do we have wood? Is this table wood?
I think it's laminate.
Okay, yeah, that's good. That's close enough.
Car selling without a catch. Sell your car today on Carvana. Pickup fees may apply.
Why does Progressive work so hard for truckers? Because truckers unite the world. They unite kids with their first drum sets and parents with earplugs. But truckers can't do this if they're not on the road. That's why Progressive has over 360 heavy truck employees to help truckers stay on time and on track. Quote truck insurance today in as little as 8 minutes at progressivecommercial.com. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates.
When you want to go all out for date night and all in on a table full of favorites, there's Applebee's All You Can Eat for just $15.99. You get all the tender signature riblets, all the crispy boneless wings, all the golden brown double crunch shrimp, and endless classic fries at a price that makes the night feel right. Applebee's All You Can Eat for just $15.99 per person per order. Now that's eating good in the neighborhood. Limited time only, so hurry into your nearest Applebee's today.
It's time to break down the biggest stories of the day. This is the top 3 stories of the day on KSLSports.com. 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.
Jake and Ben, 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone. Jake Scott, Ben Anderson. This Gwen Stefani, she still performs then? She's at the Sphere?
It's no doubt, yeah.
Oh, the band is together
the band is
again?
back together. For anybody will come back together at the Sphere, you know?
Yeah.
Because she dated one of the, it was like the guitar player or something, right?
Yes.
And then that ended badly?
Yes.
And eventually led to the, because this is just Gwen Stefani, right? This is not No Doubt. Okay.
Her brother was one of the animators on The Simpsons.
Arnold Stefani?
Funny family. Eric.
Oh. Okay.
Yeah.
Funny. Is she funny?
I wonder if she's still funny. I don't know. People have kind of
Was she ever
turned
funny?
on her. I don't know. She's interesting.
I get okay, but I mean, even in her heyday, I didn't think like, oh, that song is funny. Kind of angsty.
Sure. She's a young person.
Right.
They're all angsty.
All right.
Christian.
Time for the top 3 stories of the day at KSLSports.com, brought to you by J. Brooks Jewelers. Explore their expertly crafted engagement rings made from the finest materials. J. Brooks Jewelers. All right, Christian, where do you want to start today?
Number 1, Cavs, Knicks, Eastern Conference Finals tonight.
Look out, bro. Donovan's going for like 35.
I believe that. He probably will.
I can't believe.
Oh, Donovan!
Have we ever seen anybody get more credit for an 8-assist game ever?
Right. Especially a guard.
Maybe it was funny when Jordan Clarkson got 5, right? And everybody made a big deal about it in the locker room because he never passed.
But, like, yes, if when Ace Bailey gets 8 assists, people would be like, whoa, playmaker Ace. Or if Jaren Jackson does it, people would be like, wow, triple threat. This guy can really do everything. Donovan's a guard. Donovan's a lead guard. He should be getting 8 assists once every 3 or 4 games. Truthfully, it's just like the style of play in the NBA lends itself to that.
The amount of time that he has the ball, yeah.
You have the ball,
in fact.
you drive, people attack you, close out on you, you get into the paint. His skills are, designed for drive and spray, as they like to say. Drive into the paint, spray it out to the perimeter, somebody hits an open shot.
I want to see what his usage rate is, knowing I'm bringing it up, knowing that he's not an assist guy. Because usage is possessions that end in you scoring or an assist. And let's see, Donovan's usage, 32.2.
Extremely high.
That's a volume guy.
That's a lot.
Right, that's a volume dude.
Yeah, top 15 in the NBA.
So I've always thought, he could have scored more here with the Jazz. He bought more into the system. I give him credit for doing that because it remains. I don't think he's good enough to go it alone. And I think what got him past the Pistons was playing a little bit differently, as you pointed out, and I thought quite well. Get Jared Allen going. You're going to need something from either he or Mobley or both. So get him going.
Yep. No question about it. And I'll be curious if he comes out. The hard part for Donovan, and where I think his limitation is, despite being, future Hall of Famer, a very good player, going to be remembered as one of the better players from this era, I'm not sure he's like a great determiner, decision maker in the moment. I think he kind of predetermines a little bit of what he does, which is a knock on him as a guard. I think he goes into the paint thinking, well, I'm either going to score or I'm going to drive and pass. And it's not, oh, well, I read this and so I made this very quick decision. I don't think he's a particularly quick decision maker. He reacts to things, catch the ball and shoot, catch the ball and drive, catch the ball and pass, whatever. I don't think he necessarily is the guy who gets into the paint, gets on 2 feet, and then decides, okay, I can see the defense coming from here. I'm going to kick it to that guy who's open. Despite the fact that he has a healthy assist average for his career, that is the difference maybe between a Donovan and a Jalen Brunson, who I think is a little more innate at it, or certainly a Shea, who is far more innate at it. Luka's much better at it. That might be the difference between Donovan and some of these other guards, where he's just kind of predetermining his spots. So he's going to come into this game thinking, whoa, that's got a lot of love for getting 8 assists. Guess what I'm doing? Getting 8 assists again. Because I just like that I got all the attaboys after that last game. And then he's going to come in and try and force it and not really read what's happening to him. and he's not going to be the best version of himself. Because sometimes he should go score 35. Sometimes he should score 20 and get 8 assists. I think he goes into games setting his goal and is going to do whatever he has to reach
You're
that.
just doubting him because he's playing your Knicks. Stop it. You're just nitpicking because you're personally invested. I got it.
Personally invested in the Knicks.
But I will say this, Donovan, whether it's Bridges or Hart or whatever, he's going to have a difficult matchup. But that's nothing new. I mean, Detroit gave him nothing but difficult matchups, and he did pretty well, at least at times.
I'll be curious what the approach is. Again, different than Victor Wembanyama talking about the last segment. There are probably some more solutions. He's going to get his. He's going to score 20 every game in this series or close to, probably have some 30-point games in this series because he's that type of player, and the league lends itself to guys like Donovan Mitchell at the moment or Jalen Brunson at the moment. They can get points. The question is it the most valuable points? Is it the right points? And is it just something the Knicks are saying, well, we're happy to live with that? It's very possible.
How many shots has Donovan taken now in the playoffs? He took 20 during the regular season.
He is taking 21.4 field goal attempts per game.
All right.
Yeah, it's not a crazy high number.
No. Now, it would help Cleveland if James Harden didn't turn it over 15 times.
Uh-huh.
But we'll see how that goes.
He had a huge game 6, right? He had his 30-point game in game 6 and sent it back to no, they lost game 6.
But the nightlife in New York.
It was game 5. He had a huge game 5 to send it back to Cleveland with a chance to close it out, and they didn't close it out.
The nightlife in New York is serious.
Better than Detroit.
But I don't know.
I know it's better than Detroit. Unless you think he's really going out to get music. Oh, man, other people.
I don't know. I'm not familiar with the nightlife of Detroit.
But you're familiar with the nightlife of New York because you have a casual understanding of how the world works.
But we're not talking about Broadway shows here. We're talking about his particular venues. Are they better in Detroit? They could be. They're better in Atlanta, apparently.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know about New York. I'm sure they're known for that.
Yeah.
All right, what's next?
Number 2, Wemby had a big game last night. Did he declare himself as the best player in the NBA?
Certainly making an argument for it. I think it's going to result in a finals appearance and probably a finals victory to fully achieve that. But it's on the way. It certainly feels like it's on the way. But again, saw a great tweet about it today. Frank Madden, who covers the Bucks or used to cover the Bucks, had it. The league just changes so quickly. There's a reason we've had 8 different teams win 8 titles in 8 years. Never seen this before, but the league is changing in, the blink of an eye, more so than it ever had in the past, where if you won a title, you were overwhelmingly the favorite to win it the next year, and everyone feels that way. You and I talked on our show. This is probably the first team, this Boston Celtics team with Tatum and Brown, that's going to become a dynasty. And then they didn't. And then it was this Thunder team. Looks like the team to me that's probably going to become a dynasty. Now they're down in the series, and everyone's looking at the Spurs as the next dynasty. And then it changes next year. It always changes.
Oh, I still expect Oklahoma City to win.
Yeah, it's very possible.
What's next?
Number 3, you guys will love this one. Former Jazzman R.J. Lewis Jr. has committed to LSU.
So R.J. Lewis entered the draft last year.
Mm-hmm.
He goes undrafted. I think he's St. John's. I think he comes out of St. John's. Was a pretty good player. Was a borderline draft pick. Never got selected. Jazz made him a priority 2-way guard right after the draft. I think they signed him on draft night to a 2-way deal. Then the Boston Celtics call and say, hey, Austin Ainge, we got to get off of this George Niang guy. We hate him, and because everyone hates George. And so how do we move him? And Jazz said, we don't hate him as much as you might, so we'll take him back. And they said, well, we can't take any money back. We can't take anything back from you. How do we get him? And they say, well, we've got this guy, R.J. Lewis, that we don't really care about. He's on a 2-way. And they said, cool, we'll trade you George Niang for R.J. Lewis. So R.J. Lewis goes to Boston. I don't know does he play for the Red Claws, the Maine Red Claws? Never plays in the NBA, but it might have gotten some G League time. Gets cut or traded again. Maybe even when the Jazz traded John Tonji to them, another 2-way player traded to Boston. And doesn't make it in the NBA, never gets real guaranteed money, and has decided to go back to college, trying to get his 2-way deal. Which, by the way, not the first. We saw a lot of 2-way guys, or not 2-way guys necessarily.
It was G
League guys play in college this year, including at BYU.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm not sure I'm as up in arms about this as other people are, based purely on precedent alone. Do I hate it as an idea? 100%. You leave college, you're not welcome back. But it's not like he's the first guy trying to do this.
I'm going to reset a previous take. Caitlin Clark should go back to college. She should.
Why not?
How much would, I don't know, how much would UConn pay for Caitlin Clark to go back to college?
Right.
Gazillions.
Yeah.
Way more
as
than
much
she's,
as you can.
Way more than she's making in the WNBA. And women's college basketball is more high profile than the WNBA. Although the WNBA is getting more shine than it's gotten before, so maybe it's on its way. But I would still say the women's NCAA tournament is a bigger deal than the WNBA. Caitlin Clark should go back to college.
Yeah.
Plus, they treat her badly.
Uh-huh.
Be like, I'm getting my eyes gouged out up here. I'm going back to college. And then sue to stay. And say, hey, you can't force me to go. What do you mean eligibility? Where's that written on Mount Sinai?
Yeah, show me where that is. By the way, I don't think R.J. Lewis ever played a G League game. So why are people fighting this?
He technically doesn't have any eligibility left.
Okay, he left, so he used up his 5 years?
He played 4 years, but he didn't redshirt any.
I think he only played 3 years. UMass, 2 years at St. John's. So I don't even think he exhausted his eligibility. No, I know he didn't because he was the only player last year. I remember I wrote this article. He was the only player in the draft last year who was technically an underclassman, meaning he had eligibility left to declare early and not get drafted. He's the only player. Everybody else who had an eligibility left went back to college or got drafted. He was the only guy who didn't. And I was not making fun of him, but I made note of it at the time. That dude left millions of dollars on the table. The way you're talking about, Caitlin Clark could have made more money in college than she does in the WNBA. R.J. Lewis could have made more money going back to wherever, UConn. Go back to St. John's, transfer to Kentucky, transfer to BYU, whatever, and get a huge payday. But he decided he wanted to go try out for the NBA, even if he wasn't going to get drafted. And he didn't. And now he wants back into college. He made a mistake. Going to punish him forever for it?
Yes.
Yeah, I don't care. If you don't want to let him back into college, I don't have a problem with that argument at all. He's just, again, we saw lots of former G League players who had actually played in the G League play in college last season.
I don't like that either, honestly. I really don't care about this particular circumstance. And on the list of things to care about, this seems pretty low. I think that once you go pro, that your college days, what we used to call amateur days, are over, and there was a hard and fast line there, but they erased all the rules. So
yeah, they have changed that.
Doesn't mean I have to like it.
In fact, Abdullah Ahmed, who played for BYU last year, who stunk out loud. That guy was not good at basketball, despite the fact that he had apparently been in the G League. He's playing for his next college already. He left BYU. He was going to UMass, ironically, where R.J. Lewis started his college career. But yeah, we've set this precedent. You're welcome. You can come and play. Now, I know they tried to change it, and there was the Baylor kid who tried to go back to Baylor and committed, and the NCAA ruled he was ineligible. But, yeah, case to case, I don't know. There's a chance Sorsby comes back and plays at Texas Tech. I don't know. They seem to make it up depending on how they feel that day. So, and I mean the judges and the juries. It's usually just the judges deciding on these things, but it doesn't seem like there's any consistency on what to expect. So if R.J. Lewis can go get $2 million to play college one more year, God bless him.
I forgot Bill Wade was the coach there at LSU.
No wonder. Yeah.
Well, Billy Wade.
Should call up Walker Kessler.
They
heard you're a restricted free agent.
Up to his old tricks
again. You know where you're not restricted? College basketball.
Right here at LSU.
No restrictions.
Come aboard. You're going to love it. All right, stay tuned. We've got more Jacob Mann coming up next. I should tease. We've got David Locke. Yes, the David Locke is coming on the show at the top of the 4 o'clock hour.
When was the last time we talked to David?
It's been a while. Mm-hmm. Because back when we were in the midday, we were of such low priority for most people, David included, that he was going on other shows. But now here we are, Ben. We get to talk to David.
It was James Nagy, by the way, who I believe was not able to play at Baylor this year. I don't think he was able to go back. Anyways, huge mess. Yeah, I'm excited to talk to David.
No rules.
Yeah, just case to case.
Jacob Ed, 97.5 DKSL Sports Zone.
Hey, sweetie, your mother showed me this Carvana thing for selling the car. I'm going to give it a try. Wish me luck. Me again. I put in the license plate. It gave me an offer. Unbelievable. Okay, I accepted the offer. They're picking it up Tuesday from the driveway. I haven't even left my chair. It's done. The car's gone. I'm holding a check. Anyway, Carvana, give it a whirl. Love ya.
So good, you'll want to leave a voicemail about it. Sell your car today on Carvana. Pickup fees may apply.
All systems go. This is Jake Scott and Ben Anderson. Now, every day from 2 to 6 on 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.
Jacob Ben, 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone. We're teaming up with Beehive Meals, honoring people that impact youth sports in our communities. Nominate the youth sports volunteer you know for the Beehive Meals Hero of the Week at kslsports.com/contest. And listen to this show every Thursday afternoon for the winner. It's the Beehive Meals Hero of the Week. Ben, Christian has an update to the story that we played for the Audio Vault last week about Spygate over in English soccer.
Okay.
Yeah. Christian, they got caught again? Is that what happened? They got caught spying on another team, and we have further details.
So Southampton, the Spires, right? They have been kicked out of the championship playoff final after being found guilty of spying on multiple opponents during this 2025-26 season. So they're out of the playoffs for that incident.
What league is this?
The EFL.
Not the EPL.
No, so if they win the
they would
championship,
move
they
up.
get promoted, yeah.
Not anymore.
Well, yes, correct.
I am now a big EFL fan.
Okay.
This is exactly what the NFL should have done to the Patriots. Kick them out of the playoffs. That is your punishment, not this weak sauce draft pick stuff. Actual consequences for cheating. This I can be on board with. Yes, 100%.
Well, it's a league of consequences. You lose enough, they send you down a league.
I know.
You don't play well
It's
enough,
great.
you go down to the bottom league, the lower league, and if you cheat there, you're out of the playoffs. You can't even go back.
This cost them millions. If they had a
huge amounts of money.
chance to move up to the next league or whatever, this cost them millions and millions of dollars. And I say, good. More punitive punishments for cheaters.
It is
I'm
funny.
on board.
I've told you, there are times when you and I disagree on what's going to happen. We predict a future of something, and I always feel like I'm going to be right, and 99% of the time I'm wrong and you're right. And the most obvious example of this was the Jazz getting fined $500,000 by the NBA, and you said, oh, that's the last fine they're going to do the whole season. They fined the Jazz and the Pacers the same day. And you said, oh, they're not going to fine anyone for tanking the entire rest of the way. And they didn't fine anybody else, and everybody tanked.
Everybody.
The Jazz tanked, the Wizards tanked, the Kings tanked, the Grizzlies tanked, you name it. All Bulls, everybody tanked.
Mm-hmm.
Adam Silver sat on his hands. Didn't do it. Didn't pick up the phone.
Nope.
Didn't issue a $30,000 fine, a $50,000 fine, a $100,000 fine. We all saw it. Everybody talks about it on TV.
Uh-huh.
Nobody cares.
Nope.
Adam Silver fined one person, two people, arbitrarily. Ryan Smith on Bill Simmons' podcast called it a tax. He didn't call it a fine. Bill Simmons asked, are you in the seven figures yet for fines? He says, no, that was the tax. It was not a big, essentially wrote it off as not a big deal, which everyone knew they would. Would the Jazz gladly pay $500,000 for the number 2 overall pick? Absolutely. Think of what the Jazz would ask to trade back from the number 2 overall pick.
Mm-hmm.
It's definitely worth it. But in saying they didn't take any more punishment for that, nobody did. And to your point, good for the EFL. They saw somebody cheating and they said, death penalty.
You're out.
You're out.
You're not playing in the final.
You can't play the final, and that means you can't climb back up to the higher league, which is going to cost you millions and millions of dollars. Good for them.
Don't cheat next time.
Yep, I'm with you.
I always thought it was funny, the apologists who downplayed the Spygate and downplayed even the Deflategate. You know, if it doesn't help you win, then why are you doing it? And that is cheating.
By definition, that's cheating.
Because people would say, oh, wait, well, it doesn't matter. He's deflating it a little bit. And it's like, if it doesn't help him, then why is he doing it?
Yeah. He's not doing it arbitrarily.
Which is cheating.
Correct.
So, you know what? Throw the book at him.
If you're changing the rules, you're doing it on purpose to create an advantage for yourself.
But
that's cheating.
What you're talking about with the NBA is the ultimate flaw of Adam Silver, in my opinion. He doesn't actually care. He doesn't actually care about tanking. He doesn't care about any. I don't even know if he cares about the legitimacy of his league. He cares about at whinyfan2435 for some reason. That's his. Correct. That's his thing. Who was it to put that out the other day? That He looks at Twitter all the time.
It's Tom Haberstroh or whoever it was.
Basketball
but yes.
Twitter is what he's. It's like he is not a commissioner. He's a PR guy, and he's a bad PR guy at that.
Yeah. Well, grow a spine.
I'm going to show him. I'm doing something about this tanking. I'll show Whiny Fan 2675.
What are you going to say now?
Going to find the Jazz.
At anonymous Twitter with 15 followers.
What was that? I'm so mad at North Carolina, I'm going to punish NC State. What was that old saying? Do you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
I'm so mad about this tanking thing. I'm going to find the Pacers and the Jazz, the two franchises that nobody even cares about.
Right.
Hilarious. But yeah.
The
I did see that coming.
Saturday, by the way.
Who's playing?
So Southampton, the cheaters, the Spires, they are replaced by Middlesbrough, the team that they were spying on, and they will play Hull City.
So they lost their semifinal? Middlesbrough lost their semifinal.
Middlesbrough lost because they had a disadvantage,
But
right?
gets to play, well,
But they
probably
get a
because they
place
were a
then.
lousy team, to be honest with you, but also were
tell them
cheated
that,
on.
yeah.
No, they were cheated. Why would the other team do it if it didn't help?
Yeah, it may have helped. But we were laughing about presidents yesterday. Richard Nixon winning 49 of the 50 states and still tried to cheat via Watergate to figure out what was going on. It's like, I don't think you needed to do that. I don't know
You were
if that,
rolling.
I don't know if that gave you the advantage you felt like you needed. I'm going to just guess here that Southampton was the better team and then cheated anyways. The same way the Patriots were probably the better team, cheated anyways.
See, that's the problem, Ben. You should assume that they only won because of the cheating.
You know what? If you're cheating, you put yourself up to that kind of questioning, and if you put yourself up to that type of questioning, you say it wasn't a fair game and they only won because you made it unfair.
The Astros, that team stunk.
Yeah.
The only way they could hit the ball
They knew which pitch was coming.
was by knowing.
Yep.
All right. We'll have more coming up next. Remember, David Locke at the top of the 4 o'clock hour. What time are we going to do Hot Take Tuesday today? 4:30.
I added one last night to my list.
Did you? Okay. We'll get to it. Coming up, Jake and Med, 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.
If the world were like a Sleep Number mattress, everything would adapt for your comfort. Because as your life changes and your body changes, Sleep Number mattresses adapt and shift to give you personalized comfort night after night. And now everything's on sale during our Memorial Day event. Save up to $1,200 on mattresses, plus free delivery when you add a base. Ends Monday. To experience a whole new world of comfort, visit a Sleep Number store or go to sleepnumber.com. Sleep Number, to a good life sleep.
Summer is all about freedom, fun, and growing up. And between the ages of 9 and 13, kids are starting to form their views about alcohol. With more independence, their still developing brains need more guidance and support than ever. That's why summer is the perfect time to stay connected and plan fun, safe family activities together. Research shows kids who spend quality time with their parents doing what they enjoy are less likely to drink underage. And when kids feel close to you, they're more likely to listen, especially when you set clear expectations. In fact, kids who drink before 15 are far more likely to struggle with alcohol later. This summer, create a no-bummer summer with fun, alcohol-free activities for your kids. Go to summer.parentsempowered.org to take a quick quiz and discover ideas tailored to your family. A little time together can make a big difference. For more information and to learn more about how to prevent underage drinking, visit parentsempowered.org.